design and the rules. They aren't put together for a reason by most teams, but Nigma, they're not most.
Highly critical time, shred. And they have the Spectre, which I mentioned was the area of the series. 5-0.
Their draft is awesome for Team Nigma. I just think that LG's draft is also awesome for them and good against what. But I think both teams can take it. I just think.
他们说什么我也不会去了。
Prepare for battle.
Really need a crown of victor between Nigma eagerly trying to make their way to the grand finals. LGD has already got TI in the bag. Kuro and the boys in this game number 1.
Thank you, Tsunami. That's right. LGD versus Nigma. LGD last major. They started off the wild cards. They managed to get second in the group stage and then went all the way to place third in the playoffs. But Nigma here in the second major has to be able to surpass LGD, not only in this series, but also in positioning. They need a grand finals berth. It's going to come at a hard cost if LGD gets their way. Smoke breaking both teams.
They don't know that that ward was placed.
They both know that the other team is here.
30 seconds to battle.
And are they going to take this fight anyway? Sentry going to be dropped. Okay, they realize, yep, all right, they have vision of us. And LGD going to go for the deny on their own observer ward now.
GH, he's thinking about it. Wait, just kidding. He can't see that.
No, he can't.
Yeah, I love this draft just to set up the series. It's so cool when you see great Dota teams come in with some preparation. The bans making a ton of sense from both sides. You take out the Miracle Invoker, then swipe his puck. Nigma have already banned out the TA. They go for the Lion DK, but Undying, not just great against DK, but also a pre-planned counterpick to Spectre. My favorite support in that matchup. If Tomb is down and Spectre haunts, the zombie spawn will pretty much just get rid of any desolate damage. And in addition, you're an incredibly strong mid-game team fighter. Spectre is very weak at that portion, and Tombstone can oftentimes just win you a team fight. And then, of course, GH Rubik into the Tide Hunter. Miracle, once again, on an intelligence spellcaster. Like, it's just a lot of really cool stuff with this draft.
So it feels like both teams kind of knew what was going to be drafted and in a way preempted that. And both lineups did accept that there was already a counter on the table, but they drafted it anyway, just feeling like it's too good for them in some ways. Too good for the meta, too good for their team, whatever it is, they've gotten it anyway.
And this right here is going to be the matchup of the series.
Ooh, nice
Miracle fighting not just external battles, but also inside of his very self, up against the #1 MMR player in the world.
And somebody who's been killing it this tournament. Nothing to say. It's definitely been my MVP anyway so far for the tournament, but this series will really actually shake up that argument quite a bit, one way or the other.
Yeah, this is in some ways, I think, the highest level Dota we're likely to see at this major, at least so far.
An easy shot.
Again, they split in the group stage. Very happy to get to see them again.
Yeah, absolutely. Nigma, they did go 1-1 with LGD. Of course, they didn't manage to top out their groups. But then again, neither did LGD. And look how far they went last major, all the way to third. Nigma needs to be able to do better than that. In order to get their ticket to TI, they need to be able to make it all the way into the grand finals.
And not just that, you know, one of these teams, this is still a major. You want to win this tournament. PSG.LGD, they've been qualified for some time, but they have not let off the gas. Still look incredibly fearsome. And this draft, like the amount of preparation and just thought that went into it demonstrates like they are no slouches right now. And they would love to be a team. I mean, really, wouldn't every team already in TI want to make sure that this Radiant lineup of Team Nigma stays out?
Yes, no, that's absolutely right. You either want Nigma to be in the qualifier, knocking out other teams, or potentially keeping them out of TI entirely, as you just cannot underestimate the power of these sort of squads when it comes to the biggest tournament in the world. They have a way of being able to step up when needed.
Kuroki weren't first at TI 7, fourth at TI 8, second at TI 9.
Yeah, don't forget that grand finals appearance all the way back at TI 3. Truly incredible performance by him throughout his career, and has been leading Nigma to look better and better every single stage of this tournament. Starting out the wild cards, okay, barely managed to eke it in, a little bit more dominant in the group stage, managed to get second, looking pretty fine there, and then now in the playoffs, Full of a lot of momentum, it looks like. GH, nice pick up the Couriers. Couriers dying all over the place. Seems.
PSG.LGD, hang on.
Why? He's taking too much damage here, unless, yeah, he's got no more mana to be able to save himself. They're even going to drain a little bit more mana away from him. Mind Control, gonna have to find him in the trees somewhere. Why? Hiding in a little spot. Mind Control. They're not going to give up on this, I think. Oh, he spots him, finds him. First blood for Mind Control.
They did give some CSTV in the meantime, but you always take that first blood. Also, fun fact, Y actually has the same jersey number as Bulba, 24. And in addition, Team Nigma, they were stage right for their victory. They're now stage left. The stage right team, where PSG.LGD now has been winning, I think, every match.
You're really buying into this curse's hoodoo, aren't you?
I have.
If your curse works, then other curses must work as well.
I'm becoming more and more superstitious, that's for sure.
I remember the TI, everybody was talking about like, oh, remember the one person in that booth, whenever that admin is there, that team always wins.
It's a thing. The TI runs, typically teams get one admin, it's for that reason. And they stick with you throughout the tournament. Now, let's get into the game plan.
Okay.
Theoretically, PSG.LGD in the late game, I think, have a pretty huge lead. Undying used to not schedule it out with the talent like Tombstone on Death, the Mass Sustain, Holy Lockets. I actually think this hero is just real strong. Like, Tombstone on Death, the reincarnated 25, it's just kind of nuts stuff. They have a TB, they have a Tide. We've seen how powerful the Vici Gaming lineup is when they run their Doom, eventually with the Refresher online. Kind of the same. And in addition, a really cool thing PSG.LGD do, yeah, they didn't have an Axe, they didn't have a TA, but they ensure that their offlaner now, Faith Beyond, can farm Ancient stacks. They always have a way to clear Ancients. That's what's missing from Team Nigma's lineup. So they're going to need to be a bit more up-tempo and probably get more active with the Spectre than we've seen typically in this tournament, especially considering their other two cores, Leshrac, DK. They want to get towers as soon as they hit 6.
XinQ spots Miracle here, who's making a brief incursion here into the triangle. Not sure if he thought the bounty was there, if he knew about the stacks that were happening, but either way, he's going to take all of them.
Nice.
That is a really good move, and LGD didn't even move to try and stop him at all. They watched him walk up there and take their stuff.
I mean, only the puck can really rotate. That's the one issue with this lineup, and here it comes. To be into the top lane.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. See if they can get the two-man coil. Nope, it's only going to be one man onto Mind Control. The last couple of shots following Curl, but they're going to focus on this Dragon Knight. A much bigger kill. Curl hanging around, trying to help out his offlaner as best as possible, but he won't be able to do it. Just simply too much damage with 4 members of LGD there in the top lane. And Miracle, he's like, okay, I'll take that space and start hitting mid.
Nice job by Nothing to Say to hold his silence. That was a great breathe fire, not for the damage, but for the damage reduction from MC. Might have kept him alive if Curl was able to clear him out with a stun, but the silence preventing that. And this is the one thing. They don't really have any rotator except for Nothing to Say on the puck. That's the only real way this team can find kills. Their arrow setup is a Ravage. So the Mirana more being utilized for the laning prowess. You know, you buy Blightstone, you hit people with Gush. It's not bad. It's a big part of the reason that the Tide's currently ahead of the Spectre network. Also the stacks. Nice deny by Y.
Nicely done. Why? Picking up a good deny in that mid tower still, though. Miracle finding a big opening. Oh, didn't actually go for the split earth there off the telekinesis. As a result, Nothing to Say is able to jump away. Delivers a healthy amount of damage to finish off the Leshrac.
Slight miscue there from Miracle. If he just gets a stun off on the lift, he might kill all 3. Like, that was an Arcane Rune Leshrac. If he can just avoid a puck spell, like, the hero is very feast or famine. That's a miracle death or a triple kill. There's really no in between.
Unfortunately for LGD, they do manage to get a bit of revenge for losing their mid tower so early. What is with Terribly? Why is he coming back into the meta so strong? Specifically at this tournament, it feels like it's making the rise.
I think the change to Scotty helped the hero quite a bit. It's always been like a go-to item for Terrorblade. Now it's also the best tool at limiting regen and health gain. In addition, not showing. It's tough to really quantify unless you really break down games thoroughly enough to make a YouTube out of it, but this hero can shove multiple lanes, one with the hero, one with illusions. You also clear camps much faster than most carries. He's level 6, he's already able to go jungle. And it's just, you know, around this time, we get closer and closer into the summer. TB, it's a game winner. You make, you know, you BKB, you Sunder, you can just straight up win a game. We saw it in the group stage, actually, from Arteezy. A couple of Sunders with 0.06 seconds remaining on death that just straight up win fights and win games for his team.
And one thing I did take from those EG games where they're drafting Terrorblade, I always felt like the enemy team did not have an easy way to be able to burst down the Terrorblade. In fact, the last time we cast it, they didn't have any way to kill the Terrorblade quickly, so we would always get off Sunder. I'm slightly concerned about that here, just because of the slower damage of Spectre plus Dragonite, but they do have some tools, thanks to Finger of Death.
I mean, you know, TB Spectre, this is a storied relationship, specifically when LGD, you know, this is Ame's answer to Spectre. Like, this is what, even going back to those TI finals, both OG and PSG.LGD were comfortable picking these carries into one another. So you can make arguments for how one is a good matchup or counters the other, but obviously both teams still pretty comfortable. Miracle, nice invade.
This is a really big kill. They can get it. They will. Split Earth, and they even use the Han. ILTW will join in and claim the bounty on Ame's head.
And Miracle drops a bounty with that shovel. Full bottle now. That's huge.
Oh, that is quite nice.
That is a dream for a Leshrac, and still, again, taking enemy jungle. This is going to be the key Kuro.
Showing up behind Kuro here. Arrow nicely thrown out there by XinQ, making sure they get a second kill there, but doesn't offset the fact that they lost their carry, and ILTW still free farming.
Nice, though. It's coil conservation. They should now be able to rotate bottom and stop Miracle if necessary.
Okay.
Radiant
They do
structures
indeed
are fortified.
make a move like that.
That's the benefit of the Spectre, though, and that's something Nigma have done well so far this tournament. Just, you find those kills in the mid-game, and when you have a Rubik Lesh, it's almost guaranteed you're going to have enough lockdown to get ILTW involved. Yule's soon to be completed on Miracle, and PSG.LGD issue at the moment is really just the lack of playmaking. Their team fight's going to be nuts, but it's pretty much nothing to say who's forced to do everything. If he's showing on map, the rest of Team Nigma just can chill. There's really nothing to fear unless they walk headfirst into a Ravage.
Very scary pickup. GH picking up the arrow from the Mirana, so now he's got a telekinesis into arrow chain stun. If anything, they've got more set up for the arrow combo than LGD does.
It's definitely easier to hit. Also lasts longer. Just kidding. No points in Arcane Supremacy skill just yet.
Dire are scanning.
Also doesn't last longer. That was pre-patch.
Yeah. Didn't want to say anything.
It's okay, thank you. I've learned to self-correct.
It's okay, it goes farther. Does more damage.
Let's see, okay. So both offlaners, Faith Beyond now with the hood. He's going to buy Blink. He's a little ahead, so even with the hood, he's still just about as close to his Blink as the DK.
They're going to try and make a move here around the Moonlight Shadow. They still want to make a little bit of active plays here. Now catch GH as he was solo trying to push out that bottom lane. It's important even if you don't have your big playmaking spells, like, you know, in this case it's going to be the Blink Dagger with the Ravage. That's the combo that LGD can really start getting active with. It's important to still be a little active while you wait for that timing, right?
Yeah.
You want to keep the enemy honest.
Well, it's also the way that they've positioned, right? Faith Beyond's been quiet, but notably he's been top for some time. That's why we haven't seen Miracle do the traditional move of, okay, mid tower's dead, all right, sweep enemy jungle, go for the top safe lane tower.
That's why he tried the other tower, right?
Exactly.
He's kind of showing up in the safe lane for a bit because he's like, I want to go anywhere the Tidehunter isn't.
Exactly, because Faith Beyond, he's just holding Ravage. He's got a full wand, a hood. This is not a hero you should get anywhere close to, and expect Team Nigma just to try to continue doing as they have. Trade farm. Mind control, he'll just chill. If you want to make a move on me with Ravage, whatever, it's fine, but you are not going to challenge a Tidehunter under tower.
For the hunt.
Meanwhile, PSG.LGD, Terrorblade, another reason the heroes are so strong, you can take Ancients early on. ILTW did clear his camp, but it's significantly more difficult for a Spectre.
Double damage going to be denied. Miracle looking to punish with the old Scepter, but the Mirana is a bit too fast for him. Seems like both sides are very comfortable with just chilling and farming and waiting for that key item timing. What is it for Nigma? Because we know the Blink Dagger, that's what LGD is going to be playing around. Is there something specific for Nigma that they need, or is it just a lack of opportunity?
So that's the thing. Team Nigma, they just kind of stuck with their comfort, but I really love what PSG.LGD have because I don't know when that timing occurs. Undying covers you in the mid game. This push is allowed only because Faith Beyond's not there, but realistically, you can't team fight into LGD. It's just not a possibility unless you're able to get pickoffs on cores in advance, specifically on the Puck or the TB. Undying, soon to have maxed out Tombstone. You've got Veil Coil, soon to blink on Puck. I think once these blinks come out, there's the one on Tide complete. Now all of a sudden, Nigma, you've got to be real cautious about overstepping.
Looks like they're calling for a sweep over, but I believe Faith Beyond was not spotted by that ward. He was already hidden in trees, and they're setting up right now. Nigma, no, they're not going to spot this one coming. Miracle going to be blown up on the spot with that Ravage, which also clipped Mind Control, so they might be able to catch him as well. It's going to take a long, long run, though, and I don't think that's worth it. Not for a tanky Dragonite. So they're just going to move back to farming here. Is it worth it? Ravage for Miracle's life?
In that position, I would say sure. I mean, it's better to just use it, right? Because ultimately, Terrorblade popping meta, you farm faster, you connect on a kill, you feel good about it. You want to use the spell, and it also repels Team Nigma from that side of the map, but you've got to be a little cautious because their Blink Dagger now online on Mind Control's DK. So they might just look to make a move back themselves.
Yeah, Nigma's just going to run it back, right? Yep. They're saying, okay, no Ravage. Faith Beyond trying to make himself a target, knowing that he doesn't have Ravage. His tankiness is his best ability right now. Innocence being targeted by ILTW, but he's also quite a tanky boy, so he's not so easily going to fall either until, okay, maybe the damage coming out from GH. That helps a little bit. They take up a fine position, but again, a big ultimate used, only netting them a single kill.
Yeah, but it's a really nice play. It's excellent Dota from both teams, starting with the opening bans. You have to go. There's no Tomb, and there's no Ravage.
You're going to try for this. Oh, never mind. Look at that. The hood into the blink away, and the Puck here for the punish. Arrow's going to go out. Dodge by GH. Tidehunter again pushing himself forward, trying to tank up for the team so the damage dealers can do something, but it's a little bit too much damage as the finger of death finishes them off. Once again, the Puck looking to be able to re-engage, but they don't feel great about this. Nigma, they're very healthy right now, and they are looking for a fight.
Oh yeah, and more importantly, they want that tier 2. That's why they're playing so offensively up here. They recognize they've got a window where cooldowns for LGD are down. If they can get a tier 2, that's outpost control. That means you control a third of the jungle away from the TB, and in addition, you get that XP bonus, which is huge in this kind of game. Talents are so critical nowadays. Early outposts mean everything. It also then removes a teleportation location for the Dire team, which makes contesting Roche significantly more difficult as we push into the mid to late game.
Yeah, it's Radiant side, right? Radiant side taking the opposing tier 2 tower is so big because it's such big control over Roshan.
Let's see, that was a quick blink. He had his spidey senses tingling. Yeah, they had the sentry there. Really nice job. You can see a lot of sentries placed offensively by Kuro so far. 5 in the enemy jungle. That one mid-key saves his DK. PSG.LGD, they're going to just move bot.
Nothing to say. You got to be very careful with those kind of jumps. They've got 2 instant disables, Telekinesis and Hex. And if he's not careful, actually, Blink Dragon Tail. That's a 3. This is not an easy game for the Puck whatsoever.
Arcane on the DK, that's quite nice. He'll be able to use an ulti almost for free. And this is going to be the kind of story of this game, where PSG.LGD, they've got their CDs. When they're popped, they kind of have, they need that time to recharge. But when they're ready, with meta, Ravage, Tombstone prepared, you can't really fight them as Team Nigma until you have some sort of item advantage. It's going to need to be a very technical game from them. They have to find pickoffs, that instant hex, as you said. Expect nothing to say. Yeah, he already has a queued up. Blink, Veil, hold up.
We're going to jump onto Kuro here. Arrow, Kuro, not able to dodge it. That's commitment from Faith Beyond to be able to finish off the captain of Nigma. Now, does manage to steal the arrow, and they've also killed the Undying. Faith Beyond is in a little deep right now, and ILTW, recognizing that, is trying to slow him down. Slow his retreat as much as possible. They're going to have to do something here. A coil goes out. They're going to turn and go for Mind Control instead. Mind Control brings the rest of LGD back, but it does cost him his life. Can LGD keep going here with a one-man advantage? Are they going to back up and keep farming with this metamorphosis?
It looks like they're just going to back off and farm. Really nice pick off there. Kuro unfortunately walks into the arrow, but they find Undying at the same time.
Do you think this is caution or confidence? That each time we have like a little pick off like this, the team isn't trying to pressure for more. They just seem to be content with playing back to their side of the map.
It's a bit of both. Like ILTW, he's holding on to his haunt, right? So it's very scary to play this game. And PSG.LGD, if you fall behind in one fight and that opens up Roche, the whole game changes for you. They've got to be conservative with their cooldowns. And just want to note, I really like Nothing to Say is always that step ahead. He went Arcane Boots this game because of what he's got queued up. He wants an Aether Lens immediately. You brought up the instant stuns. Puck only fears 100-0 in this game, and this will give him that time to get his round of spells off.
And by Aether Lens, you mean Aeon Disc, right?
Correct.
The ability to be able to just tank through an initiation like that, which he has to worry about from not just the Blink Dragon Tail that's coming from the DK, but also soon it's going to be Kuro's Blink Dagger. That should be online very soon. A big kill being found here by Miracle. There's no way out for him here, so just a free pickoff for LGD.
And XinQ already with a very early Spirit Vessel that's quite nice against DK. Very far, 2,000 ahead of the enemy 4 position. GH.
Oh, they caught GH as well. GH.
Dire's bottom tower.
I remember seeing him sitting here on the side, and these wards that were placed earlier spotted him, so they get another +1.
Some high-level wards, though, to be fair. You don't typically see Dire in that spot. That's a Radiant location.
I mean, it's part of the reason they were able to hunt down Miracle in the first place, right? Is that they had a vision of where he might retreat back to, so they knew he was in the trees. So, yeah, those kind of wards feeling very value. Kuro keep on being a nuisance to this Terrorblade. You can see every single time he sees an illusion, he's hexing and he's spirit siphoning to remove that farming option from Ame.
Oh, Nethershell, that's quite nice. I believe they give that to the Spectre just for the spell resist.
Yeah.
And there's the Aeon Disc already picked up. But 4K gold lead for PSG.LGD. This is just the nature of TB. You're going to get that little bit ahead, and they've also been more successful at finding pickoffs. Pretty much every Ravage has led to a kill on a core. Question is, when do you get activated? I think it'll be the BKB timing. You can see it queued up. Recipe purchased, here it comes. And now it's the quest. Use big cooldowns, find kills, walk into the Roach Pit. That's going to be the play for PSG.LGD. They've got a lot of map control. And right now, I'd say they have a pretty huge lead in this upcoming team fight.
Yeah, and I think both of these items that they just picked up, hold up, Big Beyond, they're going to poke at him here. Mind Control does make the jump forward and manage to catch the Undying. They blow him up before the Tombstone goes down, but at the same time, Miracle, under the assault of Ame, will fall in the river. Now they manage to get the Dragon Coil onto the Dragonite as well with a follow-up arrow. Very nicely done. That coil is still keeping ILTW in place, and if they can keep vision of him, they should be able to run him down as well. The Orb going to spot him. No hiding places here, ILTW. He falls. LGD winning a big fight.
Yeah, you can't fight. These two supports, even though they picked off the Undying, he's a 3K net worth hero. He's done his job. He's a strength hero. Who cares about Tombstone? Ame's just killing everything. They won't go Roach. They'll take tier 1. But right now, I think Nigma might have the wrong read on this game. You can't fight into this. You just can't, especially with the BKB second item on TB.
Middle tower is under attack.
How do you play into this this amount of team fight?
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
With the split lanes, you know, Miracle, he itemized for that GH Ted again, but he has bots Yul's Kaya. He's playing for like 5th item Dota. This is not a location he can get in. How is he supposed to survive walking in? They didn't even use Ravage. It wasn't necessary.
Yeah, they don't have a save mechanism, first of all, and he's putting himself in a position where he is the first target of LGDs. And they're happy with that. I mean, that's biggest damage dealer right there. The fact that they're doing it on a Tidehunter is also just, it makes me question a little bit. They obviously thought he was just entirely alone and pushing out the lane. I can't imagine they knew that LGD was all behind.
And Kuro did a cool play there where he fully mana drained Faith Beyond. But it's like, okay, I don't have Ravage, but you know, we have a coil. I've got both your cores and they're dead now. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to use a Ravage here anyway. We already won the fight.
And just, again, I think they feel on Team Nigma a little more secure in this game than they are, but it's just the power of the Tidehunter, really. Nothing to Say has also been on point. His Aeon Disc got procced in that fight. Expect that to be looked at with the same importance as the cooldowns on his allies' ultimates. And another reason I really like this pickup, because it gives Puck like a cooldown to play around with his team. Because now you have your team fight winning spells. What would prevent that? We've already discussed. It's Team Nigma picking off a hero. Well, right now it's really only the Undying. Mirana's going to be way in the hell back, and Puck can't die because Eon. So all of a sudden, it's really about waiting for that defusal and looking to find pickoffs. But PSG.LGD, they have all their spells. They're just going to go.
Yeah. They're going to keep it up. They built a 4K net worth lead off of farming and pickoffs. Now it's 7K off of a team fight. Now another team fight is going to make it even worse as Kuro jumps in and hits the Hex, but he's not going to be able to stop Miracle from dying here. Follow him into the grave. 6-15. Now an 8,000 net worth lead as PSG.LGD looks to be able to close down the map. Mind control. He needs a way out of here. Okay, the arrow's not actually going to land, so he can TP away now. At least he should be able to. He's going to wait until his blink is up. Oh, this is a risky maneuver here. Mind control pushing for just that one more wave. Nothing to say. Ooh. Maybe they could have caught him there, but fortunately, mind control quick enough to be able to blink out. TP's away to safety.
And we talk about nothing to say, having to perform. He's 2-0-12, present for 14 out of 15 kills. And right now, just PSG.LGD, they're in total control of the game. The threat of the Ravage, like, it hasn't even been used in a couple of fights. It's just the coil. And Team Nigma, they just don't have damage right now. They're going to need time. I like the Force Staff for the Tide as well after the Pipe. Pipe negates like 3 or 4 ticks of Miracle's ult on his whole team, and Force is now useful as both a coil breaker and to potentially break stun chain combos.
So tell me a little bit about the Spectre versus TV as this goes later into the game. Is there, because it definitely feels like BKB and now Scotty soon on the Terrorblade, that's just going to be this huge momentum shift where you're just super far ahead. When does the Spectre start getting back into it more? Or is that more about teamfight execution?
Well, the thing is, TB and why you like it into Spectre, so dispersion damage is returned as the pipe that's given.
Sure.
So TB with a ton of armor obviously isn't super affected also
He's just
from high range.
Physical damage into a Spectre and she's bouncing back. Physical damage, and it's not even that much because it's based off of how close you are
Exactly,
as well.
Exactly. So this is why PSG.LGD historically have seen this as the answer to Spectre. The difference is when OG was winning with it, that the Spectre also had a ton of stacking damage reduction because dispersion functions that it deals damage. Well, Spectre takes the damage post-reduction, but dispersion is done pre-reduction in terms of damage output.
Oh, trying to do the Manta trick to see if he can get out of the coil. Doesn't actually work. Snaps it towards the end, and now they blow the Ravage because they've got the carry of Nigma dead, and they're right in front of a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, this is just incredible execution from PSG.LGD. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Team Nigma. They're a solid team, but they've been just thoroughly out-strategized thus far, and PSG.LGD have not made any mistakes.
No, they certainly haven't, and they're looking to play a very clean game and pushing this tier 2. Everybody playing to the right-hand side here, nowhere near that high ground triangle area. Tidehunter being the first target to see, Terrorblade right behind him. It's just really just picture-perfect layout of how to be able to take a tower and how you want to structure your team fights if they do try and fight you.
Yeah, there's really just no flaws in the lineup so far. I think it's going to require the main man, RMN in the back, to brainstorm up something because that first 2 Undying, I think, kind of threw them for a loop. It limits the laning phase advantage. The mid game gets tough, and then the Tidehunter just securing both Ancients and team fight. And, you know, LCW, he's had Haunt for a while, but how do you use it? That's the question. Team Nigma, they need a pick-off. They need somebody solo. Who will it be? They hunt.
Miracle's having a hard time living through these fights. Same goes with the supports, and nothing to say. He's making it even harder for them. He's already picked up a Dagon 1. This smoke needs to work for Nigma. They managed to find the back line. XinQ first, missed out on the Hex though, onto the puck, and that is going to cost Kuro his life, and XinQ still manages to be able to jump away. Mind control in big here with the BKB. They managed to finish up the 5 position, but that's not much. They need to be able to help out mind control, but stuck inside this coil with the Terrorblade laying, and the damage Miracle can't get out either. They started with going on XinQ, and XinQ will put the nail in the coffin for this team fight by killing Miracle and assisting in the death of ILTW as well. 4 down, and LGD, it feels like this game is thoroughly theirs. They have to seriously throw to give it up.
It's just been so clean from this squad. Miracle went for that cute Yule's break coil play. Unfortunately, was still in the coil when he came down, and nothing to say, just waiting there like one of those raptors in Jurassic Park 3, just playing with his food. That's a 4-man kill. That's Roche.
Shadows, take us. A prize.
Well, maybe they'd get the pick off on GH there, but no. So, should be a free rush, huh?
It's just such a clean game. I love watching Dota play this well because, you know, this is Team Nigma are no slouches. They have been hot coming into this game and series, but that's all set up as well just because Ame's playing excellent Terror Blade. He's hiding in the trees behind tier 2. Mid is being pushed by illusions. They acquire so much vision because of their lanes. Every creep wave acting as a living ward. So when you see nobody, it's very simple then to read Nigma's movements. You know they're coming for you. You know they're probably smoked up, and they just turn it around with superior team fight.
Certainly did. They did all of that without meta being used. They're going to pick up the gem just to make sure that now that they do have pretty good map control, it feels like Nigma can't even fight them if straight on 5-on-5. They get to sweep through the map as 5, taking down any wards, and Nigma's going to find it harder and harder to be able to get out of their base.
I mean, Ame even going for the conjure image duration. Better for lane shove for the most part. Stats more for your initial fight survivability. And then check out Faith Biana, what he's got queued up. He's only a recipe away from a refresher. And that's the like Vici does this with Doom, PSG.LGD taking a page out of their book now with the Tide, because it's already hard enough to fight into the 1 Ravage.
Sure.
You're telling me 2, all he needs to do is hit 2 heroes. They're 100% dead.
Yeah. Taking the outpost. Again,
is under attack.
Nigma left to try and scurry around in these side lanes, hiding in the trees, occasionally popping out, killing a creep wave as quick as possible, and then back into the tunnel once again is all they can really do.
You do have a BKB on Miracle,
Dire's
but
bottom tower
concern
is
now
under
is,
attack.
I mean, they're just so far behind in the item progression. Ame is enormous.
Radiant's
The
bottom
Mirana's going to be
tower
found
is
here.
under attack.
That'll be a free pickoff.
Dire's
Nigma, okay, maybe not so free. Nothing to say. Was setting up here, and he does manage to get here pretty damn fast. Now, they have a tombstone here as well, so these supports, they're not going to be able to run away from this. They're going to get swept up here by LGD, jumping away. GH with the stolen phase shift blink actually survives.
Yeah, I mean, my man can still play Rubik. It's just a big ask. He has Aether and a blink, so the Ravage steal is a possibility, but he's going to need one hell of a Ravage steal. That was a nice pickoff. They've been hoping for one of those for some time. Feels like ages since Nigma actually got a kill. That was our first one for a while, and that defusal, I feel like we queued up, we poked at it, what, 5 to 7
yeah,
minutes
it was
ago?
a while ago, yeah.
That's a very cheap item, but LTW just not really enough space around the map to progress.
Yeah, he's behind the Tidehunter net worth. It's just not been a happy day for him. That being said, I do think probably Phase Shift is one of the best abilities for GH if he wants to be able to steal that Ravage.
Yes.
Right? If he has fast enough reactions to dodge the Ravage, then he pops out, steals it, blinks in, counter Ravages. Uh-oh. Well, there goes that theory.
Plain foiled.
All right, well.
I love the build from Nothing to Say, though. Like, the Eon Disc is actually just so... God, I'm using rich words, but it's 5-head. And the Veil Dagon, it's so powerful against heroes like Lion and Rubik. They want to play safe in the back line. Well, they just get bursted down. Now with Aegis,
Curl can't get out. Curl can't get out. He's stuck in the trees. Should have kept hiding there, Curl. Got my control, looking to be able to slow down this push. Gets forced, breaking the coil. And the tombstone out. Nigma can't even really get close to it. Once again, stealing the phase shift, but the Ravage is still available from Faith Beyond. They don't need to use it to get this lane of barracks.
Everything they've done this game is a clinic, Cap. Even the Undying of Innocence with a Holy Locket, fully charged up, and a mech. It's like they've stolen ideas, game plans, and plays from the tournament, absorbed all of that energy and power, and have now just unleashed it on Team Nigma, who are almost certainly going to drop a game down in this upper bracket semi.
Yeah, they just put a bit of their region's flair on it, right? Like just having the big superior team fight, which China has always been known to be able to pull out in these big LAN events. And they're just going straight through the tier 4s, apparently. Nigma, one last hold for them, it looks like, but Curl, he's not going to be in that unless he can buy back. A good Ravage going out, catching a lot of heroes, and they are getting a little bit low, but Ame is still the undefeated champ here as the BKB, they're all just ignoring him and trying to run away. The meta is down, so they can freely kite him as much as they want, and just going out, Nothing to Say, has no mana, so he's only going to be left with this blink to the side, but no mana to be able to TP out. A Yule Scepter into another phase shift, but this time no blink, and still no mana to be able to work with. All right, they got a core kill, and they did defend their throne.
Yeah, the BKBs were huge, absorbed the Ravage for the most part. It looked a little hectic because the Haunt, that's actually what tanked most of the Ravage. Faith Beyond just held on to the second. They do lose nothing to say, but that's one hero. Daedalus now complete on Ame, and it's just you just rinse, repeat, really. Your PSG.LGD. Wait for all your spells, go back, try and do it again. You're gonna have the shard up soon on the TB. Really like that decision. It's just enormous amount of damage. He has a Satanic and a Daedalus since we last checked on his items.
They're gonna run into Ame first here. Gets off the reflection. He will slow him down. Dragon Tail first, but the counter Ravage going out. It's stolen foul from G. No, he got the gush. Actually, didn't get into the Ravage. Oh no! They needed that to be able to save Miracle, as even with the BKB, he's not getting out of here. Arrow going down. XinQ hits a BK beat of Dragonite, so instead he turns to find the captain of Nigma. Kuro dies once again. 70 seconds on the two of them, as now LGD, they can continue their assault on the throne if they want.
A really nice job by Faith Beyond covering his skill there. GH Ravage maybe still wouldn't have been enough, but it would have been cool to see him pick that off.
Yep, but Faith Beyond, even this far ahead, he is still careful and measured in his moves.
Is under attack.
And now it's just a question of, do you keep pushing? Miracle does not have buyback gold. PSG.LGD might not know that, but knowing this team, knowing how far ahead they feel, they're likely to just push up high ground anyway. No Ravages, however, so you got to be a little cautious. But it is 5-1-3.
ILTW coming in to the side, trying to go for the Undying first, who gets forced away. They do have the coil onto ILTW. Stolen coil out for the Rubik, but he couldn't get it off. It's nothing to say, executes it first, and Dominic cleans up the rest. Beyond godlike for him as they close this game out. Very dominant game won by PSG.LGD.
Are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks.
May have been a draw on the group stage, but it's looking like PSG.LGD, a little bit of time,
Radiant's middle tower
really come up and found the counter. Enigma strategy so far. One last ride. This game one, jumping forward, mind control. That's a tanky Dragonite, but he looks like nothing compared to Ame and all the damage he's able to pump out. Actually getting Ame a little bit low. Maybe they can kill him. Oh no, the Ravage, it spoils everything. It gets up as Satanic. They were just giving them just a glimmer of hope before it gets snatched away. Nigma, they hope to